Now, when it comes to celebrated authors, we've got an abundance of them here in the south. Let's just think of some. Jane Austen, of course, Hampshire, Oscar Wilde, Reading, Charles Dickens, of course, from Portsmouth, and Thomas Hardy, no least in Dorset.
But when it comes to world-famous artists, we're a bit thin on the ground. Surprising, you might say, as we clearly have the landscapes and cities to inspire great works.
Well, of course, it's now been revealed that a painter from Portsmouth influenced one of the greatest painters of all time, Vincent Van Gogh. But the tragedy here is Edward King died almost unknown. Well, Ben Moore has been on the trail of a forgotten master.
"60 years of work from the brush of Portsmouth's forgotten genius."
He was known for two things. He painted the Blitz pictures and he went mad.
Edward King's work directly inspired one of the world's most famous artists, Vincent Van Gogh. A jobbing artist in 1848, he spotted this etching, The Workman's Train, by the 21-year-old King in the London Illustrated News. A year later, Van Gogh's Potato Eaters set him on the road to fame. In a letter home, Van Gogh said of King, "There is something stimulating and invigorating, like old wine, about those striking, powerful, virile drawings." But King's life took a different turn. The death of his wife from consumption took its toll on his creative mind, and he was committed to the lunatic asylum at St James's Hospital in 1926. When it was discovered Edward King was an artist, a nurse would bring him down here to Milton Lock, which was part of the hospital grounds, carrying oils and a board to help him paint. And it became such an important part of his recovery that he'd do it on almost a daily basis. And you can see why.
People recall him painting, particularly around the houseboats at Milton, and they would give him the odd bits of board to work on and paints. I've had people tell me they would give him paint as well. So he really was working with whatever he had and still producing amazing results, in fact. So they are, from that point of view, quite incredibly interesting.
And, you know, we've got the bits of board on the wall, but there's some bits that he painted on we can't have on the wall.
Yes, there are. There is one painting which is on a sheet of asbestos, which is a bit of a health and safety problem, so we're not putting it out this time. Eventually, hopefully, we'll have to seal it, I think, into behind glass or perspex. Then we might be able to exhibit it, but yes, a bit of a problem.
Even in hospital, King was commissioned by Portsmouth's mayor to record the damage of the 1941 Blitz. But he died a decade later at St James's, forgotten until now. King's work is part of a bigger exhibition of paintings that are owned by the people of Portsmouth. There are 888 oil paintings in all varying in style, school, subject, really across the whole art spectrum. But it's King alone who can claim to have inspired perhaps the best-known master of modern art.
Amazing story, and you can see more of Edward King's work alongside paintings from thousands of artists as part of the new BBC project. It's called Your Paintings. The website showcases all publicly owned art from across the UK.